Good day, everybody. I hope that you are well, and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 2 English lesson on prefixes and suffixes. And before we start with our lesson on prefixes and suffixes, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 2, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of prefixes and suffixes. So our chapter is prefixes and suffixes. Our subject is English language arts, grade 2. And the lessons that we're going to be focusing on under the chapter of prefixes and suffixes is to identify base word, prefixes and suffixes, to determine the meaning of the words pre, re, and miss, and to use the prefixes, which is pre, re, and miss. So that is basically going to be our lessons for today under the chapter of prefixes and suffixes. And we are doing our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. All right, so when it comes to prefixes and suffixes, right? So before we even add a prefix or we add a suffix, we have a base word, right? And the base word is a specific word that can stand on its own, right? So a base word is used on its own. Then from the base word, we can either add a prefix, and the prefix is a word or let's say letters that is added at the beginning of the base word. And usually when we add a prefix, it basically it's either creating a new meaning to the word. And then also from our base word, right, the word that can stand on its own, we can also add a suffix. And a suffix is a word that we can add at the end of our base word to also create new meaning. So basically base words, right? It's words that can be combined with prefixes and suffixes. And we said prefixes, we basically add at the beginning of our base word, and suffixes we use at the end of our base word. And we also see that base words can also be used on their own. if we look at the word, let me do this. Okay, let's rather go back. All right, so if we look at the word unhelpful, right? If we look at this word unhelpful, so from this word unhelpful, right, we have the base word, which is help. And then we have the prefix, which is un. And we said the prefix, it goes before the base word. And then we have the suffix, which is full, and it goes after the base word. So basically, what we can also do is your base word, we said, can stand on its own or can be used on its own. Like, for example, help, right? So help is basically a word that can stand on its own. And then when we add, we can add the prefix, right? And then we can add the suffix, right? So that basically creates a new meaning to the word. So help is a meaning on its own. And once you add the suffix, for example, to it, which becomes helpful, and then the meaning also changes. All right, so now when it comes to the prefix, right? We see the prefix, it can be added to the beginning of a word, right? Or let's say in front of a base word. And when we add the prefix to the beginning of a word, right? And then it changes the meaning of the word. And then we have, for example, the prefix pre. And pre means before. It's like saying pre-birthday celebration. So if you say pre-birthday celebration, then it means that we are celebrating before your actual birthday. If we say prepay or prepaid, right? It's like something that we use before we paid. Even pre-made, look at this word pre-made. It means we made it before, pre-made. And in order to, for example, know the meaning sometimes of a certain word, it is also good to know the meaning of the prefix. Because then, if you know the meaning of the prefix, you'll be able to create maybe a new meaning once it is added to the base word. Then we have the prefix re, right? And the prefix re, it means again. So the prefix re means again. It's like saying reapply. It's like you're applying again. Remade. It's like you are making it again. Making it again. Redo. It's like you're doing it all over again. Right? There we have redo. It means to do it again. But re basically means again, right? So that is why we're saying that is why I'm saying if you add the prefix to a base word, right, and you already know the meaning of the prefix, then you'll kind of be able to know what the meaning is of that specific word when adding the prefix to the base word. And then we have the prefix miss. And miss means incorrectly or it means poorly. It's like saying mismanagement, which means that you are not managing it properly, right? Or you're managing it poorly, or you're managing it incorrectly. Misread, it means to read it incorrectly. And that is but a few examples of the prefix that is added to the base word, right? Specifically, that is miss. And once again, we see that if you know the meanings of the prefixes, for example, pre meaning before, re meaning again, and miss meaning incorrectly or poorly, then it is way easier for you to also make or create the meaning of the word when you add the prefix to the base word. And once again, we said base words are words that can be combined with either a prefix as well as a suffix. And we say that the prefix, it goes before the base word, and a suffix, it goes after the base word. All right, so we said that we are doing a tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. So let's go to aplusstudents.ca. And we said that a base word is words that can be combined with prefixes and suffixes, and they can also be used on their own. And we specifically looked at the word unhelpful. And unhelpful has a prefix as a base word and it has a suffix. And we see that the base word when it comes to unhelpful is help. The prefix is un and the suffix is full. All right, so now if we look at this word, right? What is the base word in badly? So we need to find the base word, the word that can stand on its own. The base word in badly. Badly is in bold. All right, so if we look at that word badly, right? So if we identify the base word, and then we can say the base word in badly is bad. Because it's basically the word that can also be used on its own. So bad is the base word that can be used on its own, and bad is the base word in badly. So bad. We need to find the suffix in the word careless. Careless. The suffix in the word careless. The suffix, it's the word that goes after the base word. And if we identify the suffix within that sentence, we can say less or less is the suffix within that sentence. So less, because we said that with a suffix, it goes after the base word, and the base word is care. So the base word is care. So care is our base word, and less is our suffix. And then we need to now find the base word in lightly. The base word in lightly. The word can be used on its own. Lightly. We need to find the base word. And if we identify the base word in lightly, and then we can say light is our base word. So light. So light is the base word that can stand on its own. So we say light is our base word. So once again, we say that the base word is it's words that can be combined with prefixes and suffixes. And we say the prefix you add at the beginning or in front of the and we say that a suffix we add after the base word, and we say prefixes comes before the base word. And basically it creates almost like a new meaning. All right. So also we did a few activities and we had to either identify the base word. We see that it's a word that can stand on its own or be used on its own. And we also identified prefixes as well as suffixes. All right, now let's go to our test. What is the suffix? The suffix of the word sureness. And if we select the suffix in sureness, we can say it is ness, right? Because ness is that word or letters that is added at the end or after the base word. So we need to say what the suffix is, and we said, oh, that is ness, and ness is correct. We need to say what the base word in restarts is. The base word, is it starts or is it re? And if we identify the base word, we can say starts. And if we look at the base word in restarts, and then we can say starts is our base word. And starts is correct. So well done. Starts is correct. All right, so we need to now find the base word of remix. The base word of remix. Is it re or is it mix? The base word of remix. So what is the base word in remix? Is it re or is it mix? And if we select the base word of remix, and then we can say mix is our base word. Mix. And that is correct. Mix is the correct word. So well done. Mix is correct. And what is the prefix? The prefix, right? It's the word that is added at the beginning of that specific word. The prefix in refold. So what is the prefix in refold? Is it re or is it fold? And refold. So if we use the prefix, right, then we can say the prefix is re, because that is the word that is added at the beginning of our base word. And re is correct. So we now need to say what is the suffix in careless? The suffix in careless. Is it less or is it care? The suffix. The suffix. The word added after the base word. And if we select the suffix, then we can say it is less, right? Because that is the word that is added after the base word, which is less. All right, so basically we said that when it comes to prefixes, right? A prefix can be added to the beginning of a word, right? And then it changes the meaning of that word. And sometimes knowing the meaning of the prefix is way better, especially when it comes to creating new meaning when added to the base word. So a prefix, we said, can be added at the beginning of a word, specifically a base word, and then it also changes the meaning of that word. So basically, we have pre. This is now our prefixes, right? So now we have the prefix pre. And the prefix pre, it means before. And an example of that is pre-made, right? And pre-made, it basically means that it was made before. Then we also have the prefix, which is re. And re means again. For example, redo means to do it again. So redo is to do it again. Remake is to make it again. Reapply is to apply again, right? And then we also have the prefix, which is miss. And miss either means incorrectly or poorly. So when it comes to the prefix miss, then it means that it's either incorrectly or it is poorly. For example, misread. It means that you read it incorrectly. And remember, we said that a prefix can be added at the beginning of a base word. And then once we add the prefix to the beginning of the base word, and then it basically like changes the meaning of that specific word. All right, so now if we look at this word misused, if we look at the word misused, right? Remember we said if you add or if you familiarize yourself or know the meaning of a prefix, right? In this case, miss. If we know the meaning of the prefix miss, then it means that you will be able to create meaning of the new specific word. And once again, remember the prefix is added at the beginning of that word, right? So misused, right? If the meaning of miss means incorrectly or poorly, then we can say misused is where they incorrectly used maybe something, services or funds, or they poorly used services or funds. So we say that the word misused, it means that it is either used incorrectly or it is used poorly. That is misused. Reparked. Reparked. We need to say, what does repark mean? If re means again, so reparked. And we say that the prefix of the word, or the meaning of the word re, it means again. So it means that if we reparked, and then it means that we parked again. So we said reparked is basically to park again. And then we have pre-mix, right? So pre-mix, right? Pre, we said the word pre. It means before. So pre means before. So if we are going to say pre-mix, then it means that we had to mix it before. So we said that pre means before, and then we had to say what the meaning is of pre-mix. It's like you are mixing it before. So we said pre-mix is to mix it before. All right, so now we're going to our test. So what does pre-make? Pre-make means, is it makes poorly or makes before? So pre-mix, is it makes poorly or is it makes before? And if we choose the what pre-mix means, remember we said pre means before, so which means that pre-mix means makes before. And makes before is a meaning of pre-mix. What does reread mean? Reread. And firstly, the word re means again, right? That is why we said it is important for you to also know the meaning of the prefix. Because reread, it means again. So which means that reread will mean, is it now read incorrectly or read again? So which means that reread means reading again. Because re means again. So repaint. We said re means again. Repaint does it mean that we are painting before or we are painting again. Repaint. Re means again. And we said re means again. And here they're asking us, what does repaint mean? And repaint means to paint again. Repaint is to paint again. So misreads. What does misreads mean? And we said miss either means poorly or miss means incorrectly, right? So misreads. Does it mean that the person reads incorrectly or reads before? So misreads, if we said that miss meaning either incorrect or poorly, right? Then we can choose the first option where misread means that we are reading incorrectly. And that is correct. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on prefixes and suffixes. We said that prefixes we add in front of a base word, suffixes we add after a base word, and we said a base word is the word that can basically also stand on its own, right? And the meaning changes once the prefix or the suffix is added to the base word. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on prefixes and suffixes. Thank you very much, grade 2, for joining the class, and I really hope you're going to have a good day further. Goodbye.